Good morning, and welcome to our annual Tutor recognition. This is something very special and dear to the library. One of the most important programs in this community that has helped a tremendous amount of people learn basic literacy skills. And every year, for some of you who are new to our program, we honor a Tutor of the Year. And this is where we recognize also all our tutors that have volunteered and contributed endless amounts of hours to help members in our community. So before I begin, I am going to, we had unfortunately one of our own students, Elizabeth King, who called in ill. So I'm going to ask from the Claremont Colleges, the Intercollegiate Department of Asian American Studies, to come up. They are also the citizenship coaches for the literacy program, to say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. Please place your, please stand. Please place your hands over your heart. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, now with more enthusiasm. I'm sorry. But it's a little chilly in here, but that does not say, most of you who know me, I am not chilly. So this program, to me, is one of the most passionate things I've ever done in my life. As an educator, I have taught many ESL classes in other school districts and community, but this is something that I hold very dear to my heart because we have such a tremendous amount of immigrants in this community who are not only seeking literacy skills just to be able to flourish in their own community, but also to be able to become United States citizens. This program, this organization in the library has done a tremendous amount of effort to make that possible. So thank you to all the tutors that are here and teachers. I applaud you. The first speaker that I have here is our Honorable Ed Chow, the Assembly Member for the 49th District. He is our keynote speaker, and I'm going to ask him to come up and say a little bit for us.
Thank you very much, Norma, for that introduction. It's an honor for me to be here. As mentioned, I represent the 49th Assembly District. It's been a privilege serving and representing all of you in Sacramento this past year. And I look forward to continuing partnership with you and serving all of you in the years to come as our economy continues to rebound. And in fact, last week, the LAO's office, Legislative Analyst Office, released its latest and greatest report on our economy, and it's been very positive as we look into the out years. In fact, the amount of surplus actually has doubled from what we predicted about a year ago. And it's going to go up to about $5.6 billion by 2014 and 15, and then that number is going to go up to $9.6 billion in 2017. And I'm here to express my appreciation and thanks to all the tutors and volunteers of the LAMP program. I wanted to say thank you for your service to the community and really making a big difference in the lives of so many people in our community. You know, years ago, I also had a tutor helping with my physics course. You know, although I didn't make it to be a physician or a physicist major, yet the difference that it made for me was just tremendous because I always knew that somebody was out there to help me when I needed the help. You know, your work has been very beneficial to the people that you tutor. And I was talking earlier to a couple of the tutors in the back, and obviously, you know, I want to say thank you for all your work. And I also wanted to single out our Tutor of the Year award, Mr. Perez, and for his many years, for your decades of service to the community. And I noticed also that you were a proud graduate of Belmont High School years ago. That's where I went also, go Sentinels, right? So absolutely, I graduated from that school many, many years ago. I wanted to say thank you. I understand that we're going to be hearing a lot more about your background as we go, but I wanted to say thank you for all your service. And one of your many duties, obviously, is to help folks become citizens. You know, before being a lawyer, before being the assemblyman for the district, I also practiced law, and one of my practice areas was immigration law, in which I had the opportunity to accompany many of my clients to immigration hearings where they were being interviewed by the immigration officers for their citizenship examinations. And when they heard the word congratulations, and you know, the clients' eyes would just light up, because they know that the future is bright, because once they become citizen, there's a whole gamut of things they can do. And it's a very, very pleasant feeling, because, you know, particularly when you help people who could become citizen, you're very gratified too. So I'm sure that has been going through your mind. So I'm going to present you with a certificate of recognition, but I also wanted to kind of bring tutoring and literacy to a different context, and that is, for example, tutoring is needed in many, many other areas as well, other than what you've been doing. For example, the prison system. Some of you may know that nearly 2/3 of our inmates actually read below a 9th grade level, and 20%, between 20 to 25% of them actually read below a 3rd grade level, and that's one area that we need to help as well. And so I wanted to ask you to come up, Paul, and I'd like to present a token appreciation of on behalf of the state legislature, and I want to say thank you for your service to the community, and look forward to working with you. One more. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Assemblymember Ed Chow. Appreciate your kind words, and I think I heard that then we may have some more revenue soon, tax bases. Yes, that's wonderful. I love that. The library gets some. Yes, that's fantastic. Thank you. Our next guest speaker is the Honorable Mayor Teresa Real Sebastian. And before I introduce her, I do want to share that I like her passion, her dedication as well, and I know that she has been a strong supporter as well for the literacy program. And I know that she has pretty much occupied her entire social life all over the city, and I know she made a big effort to be here, and so I thank her for that as well. The mayor, please.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you. And thank you to the LAMP program, everyone who's participated, our librarian, all the volunteers, and all of you for being here today. You know, as many of you know, I like to start off with poems or stories. So today I want to start off with a poem by one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Seuss. It is, I can read with my eyes shut. I can read in red, I can read in blue, I can read in pickle color too. I can read in bed and in purple and in brown. I can read in a circle and upside down. I can read with my left eye. I can read with my right. I can read Mississippi with my eyes shut tight. There are so many things you can learn about, but you'll miss the best things if you keep your eyes shut. The more you read, the more things you'll know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. If you read with your eyes shut, you're likely to find that the places where you're going is far, far behind. So that's why I tell you to keep your eyes wide, keep them wide open, at least on one side. So I wanted to share that with you because I think all of us can relate from a very young age to Dr. Seuss. And those of you that haven't picked up a Dr. Seuss book, please do so. And it's interesting that now I'm in the political arena, how the Dr. Seuss poems make so much more sense to me. And I think those of you that are elected officials will agree. And I'm really I wanted to make sure I came to speak, and I have to say, my husband's on vacation, holiday vacation, for these last 2 weeks, and I said, honey, I promise you, other than the council meeting, I promise I will dedicate these last 2 weeks, to you. And so when I found out about the LAMP program, I told Norma, I really don't know if I can go, and I mentioned to him, it's for the library, it's a LAMP program, and he's well-versed in that, and he said, absolutely, go. This is one of those things you must go to. And the reason he knew that is because I see how important it is. I grew up reading. My school required us, actually, at a very young age, we were required to read at least a book a month. And that was in elementary school. And I had the opportunity of reading all the American classics, of Mice and Men, Little Women, To Kill a Mockingbird, and I can go on and on and on. But these are things that inspired you. And what they did more so is they were a window to the world. They were a door of opportunities. And I have to say that because yesterday we had our holiday snow village, where we had Santa Claus, we had the snow, we had Christmas carolers, and during the program we passed out, programs, I should say, that had the words to all the carols, the Christmas carols. And I think the greatest joy I saw is when I saw little kids pick up that program and they were able to read and sing those Christmas carols with us. And they were so excited to be able to participate, to feel included, to feel part of that community, and to see that world, to see that opportunity to participate. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that if people can't read, if we don't take the time to help our community read, they can't participate. They don't have that window. That door is now closed. So I want to thank every single one of you for being here. And I know there are many that could not attend, that support the library, that support the LAMP program. And also the Tutor of the Year, Paul Perez. You are a great inspiration to all. So if anything, this month, make it, I know we have the holidays, but make it a month to read. Make it a month to read to somebody else. Maybe one of the Christmas books. There's so many out there, a holiday book, to give somebody that window, that door. And so I wanted to conclude with 2 things, one of which is I carry 2 things in my wallet all the time, in addition to the makeup, of course. But I have this, which is my driver's license, which gives me the license to drive. But then I also carry this, my library card, because this gives me the license to the world. So I want to make sure that each one of you always carries these 2 items with you, because in my opinion, these are the 2 most important things you should have in your wallet with you at all times. And I will conclude with another quote of somebody that I highly admire, Confucius, and he said, "No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time to reading or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance." So I think today we are not surrendering ourselves. We've chosen that window. We've chosen that door. So thank you so much. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That was incredible. And according to your statistics, that you were reading a book per month when you were a child, the library recently received an award for 1,000 books before kindergarten. Did some of you know? Which averages then that a child will have to read approximately 16.6 books per month now before they enter kindergarten. So that's really changed, which is incredible. Yes, we're very excited about this. Our next guest speaker then is the council member, Peter Chan, who is also the president of the Library Foundation. And it is my honor to invite Peter up here because I know he's very involved with the library as well. Peter?
Thank you, Norma, and good morning. And when I heard about Paul Perez was chosen as the Tutor of the Year, I was, wow, great, because Paul is my dailou. That's in Chinese, that's my big brother. So he's been acting like a big brother to, not just to me, but to all of us. And learned a lot from him, known him for many, many years. And he's retired from Caltrans for many years. But I don't know, he's busy all the time. His tutors and he's still the traffic commissioner, and I saw him everywhere in all the functions in the city. So he's busier than when he's at work. So when I retire, I have to learn from him to occupy the time. And when I heard about him, about today, I have to come. And actually, I was intending to go to the gym because with all the Thanksgiving dinners and holiday dinners and stuff, I gained a few pounds. Even my wife said, hey, you're getting fat. So today I find a bigger suit so that I won't look as bad. But anyway, this is a time I must be here because of my Dailo, my big brother, and to honor him because he did so much for the library, for all of us, for the city, and really thanks to Paul. And from his bio in here, he has 7 languages, and it's great because to know all the multi-languages, you know different cultures, you know different parts of the world, and it's beyond the books. It's very great, and I really have to salute you on all your efforts and that you bring to the youth and to the students that learn English. Because to learn English is very important because it gives you to go ahead, not just stay in your own community, but you can get another job, open another area that's in here that is important instead of just staying home and doing your own thing. So which is great. And I want to say thanks to all the tutors because you spend the time, you teach your students to learn English, and really have to salute you and appreciate all your work. And I would like to tell the students too, is that you spend the time to learn English. And I went through that because I'm an immigrant too, and so I have to go through the same thing as you do. So spend the time, learn the language, and improve yourself. Opportunity is out there. You can make good. You can do whatever you want. Follow your dreams. So happy holidays, and thank you to all of you coming here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Peter Chan. That was incredible. And to some of my tutors who are new for the very first time here today and have never really been to any of these programs, just a little brief explanation about the Tutor of the Year. It's basically someone that has demonstrated an enormous amount of passion and dedication, not necessarily more hours than other tutors, but someone that has been able to demonstrate a commitment that is beyond just the requirement that I expect when I do train tutors. Most of my tutors show up maybe once a week, 2 hours at the most, but we have had some incredible tutors that have come through this program through the past years who have demonstrated an enormous amount of commitment. And the Tutor of the Year is someone that stands above and beyond those other tutors that have been part of our program. So this has been an honor for me to be a part of this wonderful presentation that has occurred with this city and with this library. And my next guest is actually the originator of the Harvey Alperin Award that was started across the state that actually brought focus to Tutor of the Year. Because before that, there wasn't anything that actually acknowledged all the work that most of you do to bring literacy skills to second language learners or illiterate adults. So with great honor, it is a pleasure to introduce Mike Ng, the Los Angeles Community College trustee and former assembly member as well. Mike?
Well, I am so excited to be here, Dave. I'm only going to take 5 minutes. If I take more than 5 minutes, Dave and Vincent, I'm going to have to contribute more money. Well, first of all, Librarian Norma Arviza, thank you so much. You actually were in charge of our literacy division before you were promoted to librarian. So I'd like to, all the people that are on the library staff, would you stand right now? Anyone who works in the library, give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. That's awesome. Okay, now anyone who's on the library board, would you stand? And we want to give you an applause. Thank you. Congratulations to all of you. And then anyone on our library foundation, would you stand? Great. Well, there's really 3 of you. Congratulations. You did a wonderful event. I think it was just last week in our library. And how many tutors are here today? Anyone who's a tutor, would you stand? Anyone who tutors? Give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Great. And how many of you are tutees or students that are the beneficiaries? Would you stand? Any of you who take tutoring? Okay, great. Fantastic. You are very, very important to us. Great. I see our former mayor and councilman David Lau is here. Thank you, David. Would you? So, I think that took 4 minutes. But let me ask you a question. How many of you realize that Monterey Park and what you do can shape the course of history in California? How many of you believe that? Okay, great. I'm going to sit down because that was my speech. Let me tell you why. Many years ago, when I was on the library board, I noticed that people, as Assemblyman Ed Chow pointed out, were struggling to pass the citizenship exam. And one day I went in with a client, and the officer said, before we sat down, I was standing here with my client to take the citizenship test, and the officer said, "Right, blah, blah, blah." And I was startled, and I couldn't understand. I said, "Would you repeat that?" And he said, "Would you shut up or I'm going to have you removed from the room?" And he repeated the same question. And that happened 42 times that year. The officer intentionally slurred their words so that my clients, the people who studied for years, could not pass. And when I got appointed to the library board, I said, we're going to change that. And so we did a video that changed the course of California's history. We did a video in which I pretended I was the immigration officer, and we had volunteers from the library, and we filmed it. And we filmed it in 5 languages, and it sold out within 2 or 3 weeks. And one day, someone saw that video from I believe it was KSCI, Channel 18. And they called me up and said, Mr. Ng, when they don't know who you are, they use the word Mr. Especially if you're a lawyer, they don't want to get sued. Says, Mr. Ng, we saw this video and it had your name on it. We'd like to know if you would be the consultant so that we could put that on our television program. And I worked with KSCI and some actors. And that ran in 12 languages for 6 months. And so many people called the station up to tell them that they had learned the citizenship test that in 1998, I went to the Emmy Award to share in the California Emmy Award for the Best Instructional Video of the Year. Give yourselves a hand. That started in Monterey Park. And that started from people like you with a passion. Let me give you another example of how what you do can change the world. And so in 1999, I was noticing that there was some people, a certain gentleman, that seemed to tutor a lot. And his name was Harvey Alperin. He was retired. He had a furniture store in downtown LA, and he retired. And one day his wife started yelling at him and says, Harvey, you're just sitting there and eating and getting fat. Peter, I think we hear a lot about that. And she says, why don't you do something? And so he read an article, I think it was one of the Montebello newspapers, and it talked about your literacy program. And Harvey Alperin came, and he would tutor when the library was open, when the library was closed. I visited him once. He got 5 phone calls, long-distance calls. They were collect, I think, from all over the world, and they were his former students. And he tutored 8,000 hours between 1994 and the year 2000. And we started that award right here. And guess what? California State Literacy Organization picked up on that. And they formed the first ever in the United States of America and in California, the Harvey Alperin Tutor of the Year Award. That started right here in Monterey Park. Give yourselves a round of applause. So, that just shows that the person that you tutor, you never know what's going to happen to them. And you never know that you are setting an example to your neighbors, your family members, that giving of yourself is the best gift that you can give in the whole world. As we come to this holiday season, don't worry about all those gift cards and Christmas shopping and Hanukkah shopping and Kwanzaa shopping. Remember, the biggest gift that you can give is not in your wallet, it's in your heart. It's a hug to someone, the encouragement, volunteering, and in your New Year's resolutions, dedicate yourselves not to make more money, but to make more friends, to give more hugs, and to make sure that people have a chance to become successful, just like we do today here in our wonderful city, the greatest city that ever lived, Monterey Park. So, now it's time for the award. Give me a P. P. What does that stand for? That stands for someone who's a great people person. If you ever met this individual, you will instantly, before Twitter, before tweeting, before Facebook, he was a walking tweeter, Facebooker, emailer, because the moment you met him, he was a friend. You didn't have to write friend at the bottom of an email of a Facebook. He was your friend. Give me an A. A. That stands for activism. This man believes passionately. I remember when I was on the city council, I kept getting all these phone calls. I had to go and disconnect my answering machine. But it was Paul Perez, and he kept calling me and saying, Mike, how come there are no numbers on the businesses? I volunteered to do it. I kept bringing it up before the council, but Teresa and Peter, we didn't have that kind of support back in those days, so we were never able to enact it. But he's an activist. No matter when he sees something that's broken, he's going to fix it. He must be a Caltrans engineer. Give me a U. U. That stands for someone who's a great unifier, a coalition builder. And Peter was right. He speaks 7 languages, and his heart speaks 18. And it doesn't matter what country you're from or how old you are or how young you are or whether you're poor or rich. He wants to bring people together. And his whole life, he's very much like Nelson Mandela. I mean, he didn't serve 27 years in prison, but I believe that he has the same heart as a Nelson Mandela, someone who went through great sacrifice and is now here to bring people together. And give me an L. And what does that stand for? What? Where are we celebrating today? Lamp, literacy, and libraries. And so it's my honor to present to you the winner of the Harvey Alperin Award. Did I exceed 5 minutes yet, Dave? How come you didn't give me a signal? Not his job anymore. Vincent? Okay, so this year's Tutor of the Year worked 179 hours from January to October. He started volunteering in LAMP in November 2010 as a citizenship coach along with the Claremont College students. Are you any of the Claremont people here? Great, thank you. And then he volunteered, since then he's volunteered 284 hours, and that's only when the library was open. When the library was closed, he volunteered another 100 hours. So for that, I would like to, I forgot this. This is our second plaque. We've actually, the first plaque already has 12 names on it. And I'm sorry, Paul, we couldn't fit it, so we started another plaque, right? So this is our second plaque. So I'd like to call up our librarian, and I'd like to call up the officers of the Library Foundation, and I'd like to call up our library board, and I'd like to call up our city council, if they would come and do me the honors. Library board, Library Foundation, Mascara Foundation, whatever foundation you are. Okay, great. So I'd like to ask you to join us in presenting, and Mr. Of course, our Assembly Member Ed Chow. Okay, and oh, yeah, and Paul Perez. That's why you're never going to be off duty as a city clerk, Dave. So this is the award, and you don't block now the people that gave you the award. And this is the.
Do we want to move that down?
Why don't we just move on this side? How about we just move down here? Yeah, there we go. Okay, great. Oh, there's so many people. Why don't we do 2 rows? Why don't we just do 2 rows? I don't want anybody to get hurt.
Come on, Joe. Since I'm short anyway, I'll.
Go ahead.
Come on, Joan. Hey, come up.
Don't bother him. Oh, and where is Paul's lovely wife? Oh, let's take pictures. All right, here we go. All right, can we see everybody? Can we see? Okay, here we go. Paul. Take this small flag. It's more important. Okay, let's give Paul a round of applause.
Am I going to have an opportunity of saying something?
Absolutely, please. I'm going to invite Mr. Perez to come up to the podium and say a few words. As Mike had said, Paul has an incredible ability to be his own Twitter. I will. Do you have something here? Your notes. That's okay. So it is my pleasure and my honor to present to you Paul Perez. Paul.
First of all, I applaud you for being here, and of course, everyone that's made this thing possible, believe me. I'm lost for words. The only thing I really want to say is that I didn't speak English until I went to school, believe me, and I'm still trying. So I know what many of the students go through. I became a citizen, you might say, when I came to California. I came from Texas. U.S. Texas, some of you didn't. No, in all seriousness, in the tutor program, one of the things I emphasize is the importance of learning English, communication, really. Even if you have an accent, get involved, because when you start learning English, you start really, what really helps, watch TV in English, listen to the talk shows, communicate. Don't just sit there. I don't care where you are. If you're waiting for the bus, say hi to somebody and interact. Once you learn a little bit of English, apply for citizenship. You apply for citizenship, you get more involved. Then you can really find out what is a city, what's a state, what's a country doing, and have an opportunity to change things. Because we can do it by using this, not this. It makes a big difference. And this is one of the things I really, really try to emphasize in our classes. Get involved in what's happening. Help. It makes me so, I heard two individuals talking. One asked the other one, what's the difference between a volunteer and the employed city employee? And they were talking, it's not a joke, I really heard this. And they said, well, I don't know. I think the volunteer doesn't get paid. And I happened to be there. And I said, excuse me, let me interrupt. We do get paid. The payment we get is the satisfaction when somebody calls us, teacher, teacher, I passed. Feel good. So, keep going, keep trying, and pass this on. And when I tell them after you pass, now you're ready for community service. Sign up. We got a lot of opportunities. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. As you can see what I meant about passion, there was that brief moment, and that is what Paul was all about and still is, and I'm sure will always be. And thank you, Paul, for bringing the program to an extra level of compassion as well. I am very honored that you are one of my tutors. Thank you. So that said, with the Tutor of the Year, there has to be a reciprocal component to that partnership. And it isn't just about coming and tutoring and teaching English. You have to actually show a gain, evidence, something that says what you're doing really is working. And so how do we document that? Because we take test scores, we take pre and post tests, we submit statistics to the state library, to the Department of Education. But what is the real evidence? What is it that we actually do? What is the product that we actually put into the community? It's a human life that's able to flourish and prosper. So today I have invited a student who has come to the program many years ago with many difficulties, many challenges, that was abandoned by other literacy programs, I won't mention their neighboring cities, and came to us with the plea to please help, because he had been abandoned by so many literacy programs. And I've asked this gentleman, this student that has been with us, to please come to speak on behalf of his experience with this literacy program. So I'd like to introduce to you today Luis Lopez. Luis, will you please come to the podium? I am going to present you for the Student of the Year the certificate of accomplishment for all the hard work that you have done demonstrating gains in English skills in reading and writing, and your determination to succeed in your literacy skills. Luis.
I'm going to speak a little bit. My name is Luis, and I'd like to say a lot of place turned me down. I'm going to talk just a little bit, but I'm going to say I have dyslexia. The problem is to learn how to read. You read right now a little bit. The second day or third day, what you read? Nothing. You forgot. But it's scary. It's like a person blind, like somebody holding your hand. You want to go to a McDonald's, or you want to go out to a park, you want to read a sign. You can't do it. You got to take somebody with you. But you won't believe it. I went to lot of places to get help. I remember I was small, in the 60s. My dream was learn how to read. I don't care. I was a millionaire. I was poor. I want to go to school, learn how to read. Every night I go to sleep, oh, I wish I knew how to read. I want to be like everybody else. I want to go out. But every time I step a foot outside that door, everybody turned me down. Everybody. But I don't give up hope. I don't ever turn my back. Never turn your back. Please don't. But you know you go home and cry. You go to your bedroom, maybe do a little prayer. And you ask God, please help me. You know, I had a beautiful job, great job. Even my boss knew. He found out later I didn't know how to read. I told him. He sent me to school. He sent me to school because I didn't know how to read. I have dyslexia. It comes and goes. I don't know how, why. I can't explain it. I can't explain this, what it is. And I work for the city. I worked one day for the city. And I was working for the city. I was going to school. He was paying me. And the time I graduate, my teacher, I graduate cap and gown, like everybody else. I got my award, my certificate. I graduate. I told my teacher, what is this for? I told him, I don't want this. I don't want this. What are they going to do? He said, he's going to get you a good job. That's not what I want. I wanted to read. I wanted to read. I didn't want a certificate. Because the teacher looked at me, oh, he's a beautiful little kid. He's a quiet little kid. He want to do something. First thing the teacher do, well, he don't know how to read. He's bilanguage and all this. I didn't care. I wanted to know how to read. Just because he's a nice little boy, you give him a book, know how to read. Look, just turn the page and look at whatever I have. I didn't was too happy. I looked at it, yes, I looked at it. The bell rang, time to go to class, time to go to lunch or break, whatever. But the time I was growing up, I didn't was happy. I didn't was happy. By the time I had a good job, a better job, all three jobs, it was great for me, beautiful. All the boss didn't want to let me go. I was his best worker, every company I worked. 3 companies I worked. The last company I worked for 28 years, they sent me to school. They sent me to Pennsylvania. Went to school over there. They sent 2 the top guys, professional, way over me. I'm way down here in the bottom, way in the bottom. These guys way over my head. Just because I didn't know how to read, just barely a little bit, he said, well, you're going to learn something. You're going to send me to school for 2 months. Just because I have dyslexia. It comes and goes. It comes and goes. Why? I can't explain it. It just comes and goes. The 2 guys that sent me, he said, Louis, look, you won't believe it. You're not going to pass. Forget it. Just turn your back, forget it. I didn't give up hope. Way over there, I was for 2 weeks, I went to a library. Looked for a book. I didn't know how to read a little bit. I asked one of the guys to help me how to read this. He didn't even know what it is. By the time I finished that class, in 2 months, I got over 100%. How? I can't explain it. I just can't explain it. This thing is over and over. It comes and goes in my brain. It goes in there. Oh, I could read, today, I could read anything which you want to read. Anything, any book, anything, library, anything, any sign, anything. The third day, what is it? I don't know. I never seen it. I seen it, but I don't know. What does it say? I don't know. That's the way it goes. That's the way my brain's working. Why? I can't explain it. Only God knows. But the time they sent me those two guys, it only got 40%. It not even got 90%, not even got 100%. By the time we came back to the plant, the boss took care of me, make sure like an egg never broke. He said, Louis, I think you're gonna run the whole plant. You're gonna be the boss of the plant. Yeah, he took care of me, the boss. All that time he said you could go to work and you could take care of the employee, anybody in the plant. But I told my boss, I want to be like everybody else. I want to go to work. I just want to run a machine, sit down, and do my paperwork. I did all my paperwork, all 100%. How? I don't know. I just keep it in memory. I don't know how to read it, but I memory it. That's what I do. But the places I've been going have been turning me down to learn how to read. I came right here, the library. I was happy right here. This place here never turned me down. I got a teacher. His name is Patrick. He's going to be here a little bit later. He's working right here. He's working. And I figure my teacher he's going to turn me down too. I figure, he's going to give up on me. He figured I was going to give up on him. In a couple of weeks, I quit. I didn't quit. I figured he was going to quit on me. I said, you quit on me, I'm going to sue you. I said, never give up on me. But I got that hope. My teacher was here. And I see him. He's here. But I'm happy. My teacher up here in the back. Please stand up. Patrick. My best teacher never gave up on me. You know, one day he told me, he said, Louis, you're all right. You're all right. I was happy. My heart was happy. I was happy with him too. He didn't give up, at least. I got more than 4 years coming here, but I'm happy. But I'm asking for everybody, please, don't give up hope. Just keep on reading, please. But I'm not going to give up. I'm still trying. I'm getting older and older. But my dream was, maybe I'm going to get old, I'm going to die, I'm never going to have my dream. Never going to come true. But I went to a doctor, special doctor, to check my brain. What's wrong with me? I'm good at everything else except that, what I always wanted. But the doctor told me, Louis, you was born like that. I said, I never asked for this, please. I want to be just like everybody else. But I'm asking everybody, please don't give up. Please, please. No matter how good you are, you have a good heart, just keep on reading. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Luis. I hope that you notice that the literacy program also addresses students with special needs. Luis has been a perfect example of his determination regardless of his dyslexia, to pursue literacy, to never give up. But he always needed someone to be that other partner, that other person that also walked with him that long road that he talked about. He is a testament to a lot of Americans who are illiterate in this country, where schools have failed them, where systems have ignored them, where jobs have just kept them on as a production, but not necessarily as a human being, or have gotten them engaged. And I thank Patrick Scanlon, who was a former Tutor of the Year himself, for giving Luis his dream and pursuing that accomplishment. So congratulations. The library has been very honored to have gotten the PLA award this year. For most of you who do not know that, it's a Public Library Association award that was given to a literacy program within a library that had a very unique and innovative way of teaching literacy. I'm going to request and invite Diana Garcia, our Senior Library Clerk and Librarian for the Children's Department, to talk a little bit how we earn that literacy program where we do service children, not just adults. Diana?
Thank you, Norma. Hi, everybody. How are you guys? So I'm the last speaker before we do our certificate, so I'm going to make it short, but Norma invited me to talk a little bit about Reading Rockets, which is our youth literacy program in the library, and particularly about the award that we were honored with this year. So we started Reading Rockets in the library in the summer of 2012, last year, to help struggling readers who are in elementary school who need a leg up with their literacy skills and their academic skills. As educators, we know that reading is the foundation for all of those other academic skills. So when children struggle with reading, they often fall behind, and they're never able to catch up with their peers academically. And Ed Chow, Assemblyman Chow, was talking a little bit about that. You find that children who aren't reading well by third grade generally fall behind, and those children are more likely to end up on welfare, to end up in prison, and all of these other things. And especially in our community where we have large numbers of English language learners, it's really important that we level the playing field for our children. Since the pilot program began last year, we've provided over 2,100 hours of tutoring for our students through Reading Rockets, which is incredible. And Norma mentioned that it's proven successful through our test scores. The students that participated on average increased their accuracy by 4%, which is a huge number, and their speed by 16%, which is really incredible. And the parents of our students have all reported that their children enjoy reading more, and they have a more positive attitude towards learning and reading when they finish the program. So that's something that we're really proud of. And for as much as our students gain from the program, it also benefits our tutors. So our high school tutors and our college interns. The professional and personal growth that I've seen in these students and young people is really exceptional. The past summer, at the close of the semester, I asked them to write a little bit about their experiences. And I want to share with you what some of them said. One of the tutors said, "This program helped me grow as a person because I learned how to inspire my students to work hard to meet their goals. I learned that setting a personal goal and surpassing your own expectations are more important than measuring yourself against other people." Another tutor said, "My experience was phenomenal. From the first day I met my students to the last day of class, I've seen immense improvements in each student. My biggest achievement as a tutor was seeing kids come in scared of reading at the beginning, but confident and eager to read at the end of the session." And as Norma mentioned, one of our most impressive accomplishments this year was being awarded the PLA Innovations in Literacy Award. We were actually one of 8 libraries in the nation to get that, which is pretty exceptional. I went to Chicago over the summer to accept that award for us, and I'll be traveling to Indianapolis in March to represent the library with that. We're really proud of the positive response that we've had both in the community and nationwide. One of the most exciting new developments that we've had this year was expanding our partnership with Asian American Economic Development Enterprises. We've been really excited about that. Our community partners really help us make Reading Rockets possible. I'd like Mary Wong to stand. We can give her a hand. Mary Wong is the CEO of Project NEO. She was one of our community partners last year. She was one of the reasons why we won the PLA award. AAEDE is also another reason. We're very, very excited to be working with both of those organizations with Reading Rockets. Both of them has very generously lent their time and their financial support to help our children. So in closing, I'd like to thank everybody that's been involved with Reading Rockets this year, Project NEO, AAEDE, our tutors, our interns, staff, and everybody that's volunteered their time. It's thanks to you that we've had the success that we did this year. Everybody has given an incredible gift to our students, and that's one that's going to continue to benefit them as they grow and learn. Thank you.
Isn't she incredible? She is. She Diana is going to introduce the Reading Rockets tutors that helped us earn the PLA award, which we are very proud. As she mentioned, 1 in 8 libraries across the nation. And that is something that Monterey Park should be very proud of. Diana, please.
So I'm going to call the names of our tutors. I don't think any of them are here. It's finals week for them, but I'd like to at least recognize them by calling their names. Okay. If anyone is here, please come down. We have certificates for you. Alan Ann, Helen Ann, Norris Chen, Darian Gardia, Brady Guan, Kevin Kong, Alex Koo, Carmen Lai, Norman Lee, Tiffany Lin, Nadine Lozano, Yila Ma, Dean Nguyen, Ruby Nguyen, Lauren Okino, Vivian C., Amanda Tai, Vu Nguyen, Michael Yi, and Anna Zhu. Anyone?
Thank you, Diana. As she said, finals, and I know they were all here last year, but we do owe them a great debt of service for what they did. The next presentation, then, is why we are also here, our tutors. The LAMP Literacy Program is one of the most comprehensive programs in the state of California. How do we become that way? We decided to be a little creative and bring in ESL classes as well as one-to-one classes, citizenship coaches, which expanded the literacy citizenship preparation classes as well. We did something very unique. We took literacy beyond the requirement by ESL adult agencies on campuses and brought in innovative volunteers where they brought in their own relevant materials, taught English where they felt they were more aware of the relevance of the needs of the students. And then in testing our students, we noticed that there was a tremendous amount of gains. In the past year since I've been here, we have doubled our grant funding each year. And this past year, we doubled it twice from 47 to 85, which is a very good accomplishment for this literacy program. And it's all to the fact that we have some incredible tutors. I may train them, but I don't give them the compassion, and I don't give them the drive, and I don't give them the necessary tools that they bring excuse me, to the table when they're teaching classes in whole groups, when they're one-to-one with different learners, day in and day out, determined to reach the goal of that learner. It is these tutors that are here today, why we have become one of the most comprehensive and successful programs in this state. And I have to share with you that this year, the Department of Education has opened the WIA, which is the Workforce Investment Act, to become competitive which means every adult agency in this state is going to compete to apply for this grant. We have been getting an enormous amount of calls to ask what is our secret. I have shared with my staff, do not give the secrets. I am very serious. Jose, do not give out secrets. Because it is competitive, and because some agencies have no idea. How do you do a successful program with volunteers? How do you reach a comprehensive program that you have with volunteers? So it is something very proud that I have to say for this library that I share with many, many people across the state, but I still want to keep it a secret. So that said, it is my pleasure. I will be introducing then the certificates to my tutors. And I will begin. Let's see. I'm sorry. Christy Cheryl, I'd like all of you to come up here, please, and just stay for a picture. Joyce Chan, Chunran Chen, Sue Chung, Angeline Chu, Joy DeLuca, Bob DeMock, Edith Album, Samuel Feckenbach, Carmen He, Judith Jacobs, Tin Law, Tan Liu, Simon Lowe, Ava Martinez, Fred McMahon, Diane Mills, Patrick Ryan, Sabrina Shish, Jessica Tan, Matthew Tan, Michael Tan, Rosalie Tolzman, Carolyn Wong, Arthur Young, Peggy Young, Tila Young. These tutors are one-to-one tutors, citizenship coaches as well. Congratulations. Thank you.
Squish together. Squish together, you guys.
Thank you.
Squish together for a photo op.
I can actually get behind. Ladies would like to scoot over.
How can we help? Okay.
I'd like to invite council, it's still here, if they can come up and take a picture with my tutors, please.
Side by side. Oh, okay. Have a taller one in the back. Yes, yes.
Paul, can you please come up here as well?
Your other left.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next category, council, if you'd like to stay up, because I'm going to ask for a picture as well. Thank you so much. The next category are actually our tutor teachers. Yes. This group of tutors actually focus more on teaching classes as a whole. They are the folks that actually have given us recognition through the Department of Education, who have actually made it possible for us to have an increase in our grant. And it is my pleasure that these wonderful people who have been very devoted and dedicated to teach ESL from phonics all the way through advanced English as well as conversation have done an incredible job of bringing this program together. As I call your name, please come up here. Annabelle Chu, Janice Denuto, Nancy Gilmore, Richard Hollingsworth, Lillian Kavaratani, Linda Coy, Daisy Liu, Rick Liu, Pamela McNeil, Paul Perez, Patrick Scanlon, Selena Wong. If council can come back, please, thank you. Please give a hand for these wonderful people. Thank you. There is another key factor to the success of this literacy program, and that has been our college partnerships. Many folks don't really talk about the silent people behind the scenes that actually participate or come to the literacy program to find a unique way where we can become partners in the community so that new college students can gain some skills of what it's like to work in communities, to participate in some of their studies with first-hand experiences. I am very honored this year that we had several partners involved with the literacy program. We did have Claremont College, which has been a very dedicated and devoted partnership as well since I first came on board. And apologize. I would like to introduce also AAED. Diana mentioned them earlier, had always been a very strong partnership as well with us. So I'm going to call the names of these wonderful people and students that actually participated to make this program successful. Alexander Shu, Yvonne Shu, Jason Lee, Victor Lin, Michelle Tan, Diana Beafiore, Nicole Chan, Roxanne Garcia, Jessica Shu, Sheena Iwamoto, Linda Lam, Melinda Liu, Marissa Okasaki, Kirsten Simmons, Danielle Smalls, Chloe Villalobos, Kara Wang, Sophia Wang, Ching Wang, Connie Wu, Kathleen Yip, Becky Yoda, and Brian Shu. If you're here, please come up. Okay. We are not all here then. Okay. Council, my apologies, please. Our final presenter this evening is also a member of the Library Foundation who did an incredible job this year of taking over the walkathon, since I now am the city library director, and has really been helpful in doing a project that was also very dear to my heart, Walk for Literacy. I'd like to introduce Joyce Chan to talk a little bit about the sponsorships that supported our walkathon and brought some nice change to the Literacy Fund. Joyce?
Thank you, Norma. And thank you, Norma, for all these great opportunities. It has brought the greatest gift to my heart through all these volunteering opportunities as well. The level of satisfaction that I've gotten is beyond any money. So thank you. And first of all, we'd like to thank all of you for your support for the LAMP program. The LAMP Walkathon was hosted on October 12th. And I'd like to express my gratitude for our supporters and sponsors. The followings are the program supporter level, which contributed $100 or more. Colleen Cito, Rick Lamb, Nancy Ishino Gilmore, Rosalie Toltzman, Gwyn Kushida, Mr. Mike Ng, Asian American Economic Development Enterprise, Global Federation of Chinese Businesswomen, Southern California Chapter, and First Choice Bank. Silver level sponsors supported the program with $500 or more. We'd like to recognize Far East National Bank, U.S. Bank, CTBC Bank Corp., and the East West Bank. If any of you are here, please to come up to the stage, and we have a certificate, right? Thank you. Thank you, all of those supporters and sponsors, for your professional as well as personal support for me. And I'd also like to thank some of the teachers who allowed me to recruit walkers in their classes. Thank you.
Council. One more time, please. I thank everyone for their patience. This has been a little bit longer than we anticipated, but I want to share that we have the most incredible group, and I have to say, most incredible group of people that have contributed to our literacy program. And I also want to recognize the Friends of the Library. If you're here, will you please stand? For some of you that aren't aware, the Friends of the Library raise funds to support some of the literacy programs that are held at the library with refreshments or other necessary needs, and also sometimes support the literacy program to help also with some of the costs that we incur. And thank you for that participation. We have a special presentation, Jose, that we'd like to share with everybody regarding our LAMP literacy program. And after that, I'm going to invite everybody to please have enjoyed the luncheon with us.
Somebody else and chat with somebody else. This program really gave me a lot of help. Thank you very much.
The teacher teaching me a math. Here will help me find a good job. Thank you.
The library can able to offer me flexible schedules, even I work full time. Library provide us a quiet environment place I can always practice with somebody, learn and talk to each other. Through all those study programs, I believe that my English level will be improved in future. This is the reason that I came to here to study. Thank you very much.
I see their face and I say something they actually understand and they get me, and that's the really happy time for me. So that's why I keep coming back every Sunday from 1 to 3. And like I said, I actually learn a lot of things from my people as well.
thank you to the Claremont College students that did that video for us. That was an incredible job. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Please join us for lunch. Thank you. Well, thank you, Anthony, for coming. Thank you. Thank you.